Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. Happy Memorial Day. Welcome to Barsha Barsha Barsha, episode 15, on a queer day. And we are going to just wait 1 second till everyone comes in. Hi, Charlotte. Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a really great day. We have a great show today. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Martha. Hi, everybody. Okay. I'm so excited about today's show. So excited. I see Morgan's on stage. There you go. There you go. Woo! Whoa! Here we are at Barsha Barsha Barsha, episode 15 on a queer day with my special guest, Law. I'm so happy you're here. And I don't know if you know this, Morgan Wordlaw, but I sing a song for every guest that comes on. So I will sing my song for you. Where do you go on Mondays when you want to have fun? Where can you go on Mondays when your day is done? Well, Fireside Chat is where it's at. The guests are all the best. We'll have glorious stories, some real, some raw. Join me in welcoming Morgan Wordlaw. Join me in welcoming Morgan Wordlaw. That was a little weird ending. Okay, I am so happy to be here today. My special guest, Morgan Wordlaw, because we are kicking off Pride Month. Morgan laughs at me when I say gay pride. I'll tell you in a minute why. Right, Morg? Okay. Anyway, I have an incredible, lucky, and honor relationship with Morgan intergenerationally. I am 63, Morgan is 18, but we're both Pisces. So we have some intersections here. Number one, we're Pisces. Number two, we connect on music and theater intergenerationally, and that blows my mind. I'm always being introduced to new stuff. Also, I identify as queer. Morgan has agreed to talk to us today about his identity and the journey. And I want everyone to know that my dog is barking, that to be an ally with the trans community, LGBTQIA plus community is very important. So I just wanted this conversation to be, open, honest, and Morgan will tell us really honestly. Thank you, Morgan, for offering this because it's not Morgan's job to tell us exactly, his journey and what happened. So first of all, please tell us, Morgan, what your identity is. Remember, this is 101 for people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So my sexuality is just queer, not really a big label or anything. And then my gender, I identify as a gender non-conforming trans man. I identified as non-binary for a while, and then I realized that wasn't exactly the correct label for me. So I recently started identifying as a trans guy, and now here I am.
And was this journey, I want people to understand that it's not like you wake up overnight. Like we went kind of through this journey together, right? So first, you told me you were gay at one point, correct?
I first came out to you as bisexual.
Right. And then what happened?
I I my whole journey through my sexuality was kind of just me tumbling, trying to figure it out. It was bisexual, and then I was in this relationship that was long for me because I'm only 18. Um, I identified as a lesbian throughout that, and then as soon as I got out of it, identified as queer, and I started coming out as non-binary. Uh, and then yeah, it was just like a few months ago probably that I started identifying as a trans guy. Uh,
Right. And you texted me, which was so great. You go, update pronoun change, he they. So I want people knowing here that this is not a process that happens immediately. And now Morgan feels, and tell me if you're right, that this is a good time for you to be going to college and being accepted on the gender nonconforming dorm floor, right?
I mean, it's not exactly like a gender floor. It's just for anyone who's LGBT, but it makes me feel really safe to be on that. And I'm really excited to go there and have all the experiences that I can. That will be great for me and who I am.
Yeah. That's great. You're getting applause down there. You're getting applause. I want to talk to you about why you laugh when I say, "Oh, it's Pride Month." Is this like a generational thing because people call it gay pride? Like you laugh at me sometimes for me trying to be woke. Go ahead, explain that.
It's not just about like you saying Pride Month. It's just some of the times you're overly woke, and it's kind of funny.
When you say oh, so explain to people, the difference between overly woke, like when I misgender you, for instance, like, can we talk about misgendering? Let's talk about this for a second. So because people in your family aren't used to you switching pronouns, feeling comfortable on this journey, um, and them not being able, of course, your dad and mom, how did they relate to you as this journey went along? Are you
Uh,
offended by their misgendering because of the time they spent calling you she?
in a way, I do understand, but as you know, I've been sick with the flu for like the
I
past.
know. I'm so happy you're here and you're getting better. I'm so sorry I forgot to say that. Go ahead,
Oh
Morgan.
no, you're good. But with that, I've just been like laying in bed, and for me, it feels like I'm also confused because I see myself as a man, and I just that's just me. That's just what I am, and I it's just so hard for me to think like why can't anyone else like why isn't it so easy for anyone else to
To see
come
you that way.
and to keep misgendering and everything. Like I know where they're coming from, but it's also hard for me to understand why they can't just get over it quickly. I don't know.
Right.
It's pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, you have some of your family here in the audience. I know that, and I'm not going to identify them yet.
Yeah.
But did you have individual conversations with them, or did you just not do that yet? You weren't ready to do that, or what?
Um, I don't know if I've really ever had a conversation of me like coming out. I don't remember ever coming out as like anything. Um, but I've talked to my parents about it. Just talk about like pronouns and like why they're misgendering makes me uncomfortable. And they're trying. I get it. It's just like hard because they're old.
And I love that you have a sense of humor about it because I know it's at one point in your journey, it wasn't that much fun. Can you talk about the mental health issues that happened on this journey because you see yourself one way and didn't understand why people didn't see that?
For okay, so I have borderline personality disorder, and if you don't know what that is, it's a lot of abandonment and like attachment issues and stuff like that. Um, so a lot of my gender identity having to do with that. I was so scared of coming out and losing everyone that loved me. It was really like an irrational fear, but I just didn't want to have to show who I really was and lose anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Along this journey, You did say that to me a couple of times, but you got to the place, and this is what, because this is the end of Mental Awareness Month. And I asked you at this point, now that you identify as he, they, right? Um, do you think that some of your issues had a lot to do with your gender identity? So, can you answer that for people? Not just borderline's a different thing, but you know what I'm talking about.
Um, yeah, I have a lot of dysphoria, obviously, being
Can
trans.
you explain what that is? That people don't know what dysphoria means.
Dysphoria is kind of just like feeling like you're living in the wrong body or not who you truly are. When you look in the mirror, it's just not correct in a way. So that would cause like a lot of my depression, my spirals, stuff like that, because I just looking in the mirror, I have one right in front of me. It's just not like who I feel like I am or who I want to see.
Right. And what age did you label that at what age? Was that more of a high school thing or was it earlier?
I started having questions about my gender identity in sophomore year. So I was probably around 15, 16,
Hmm.
but I never really came out about it until the end of my junior year, which was last year.
Now, this is everybody listening. Please listen carefully. I have pre asked these questions to Morgan, so I am not exploiting Morgan in any way. I sent Morgan the show flow and what I'm going to be talking about. So you know that these may seem like personal questions, but I need people to be educated because I'm noticing people aren't. So when you have the dysphoria and you realize, you know what, I'm a trans man, what do you do to change your body? I know what your mom told me they bought for you and at what age. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I'm currently on testosterone. I inject zero point 0.4 milliliters every Tuesday. It's supposed to just like masculinize me more. Basically, the changes are pretty slow because second puberty not gonna happen pretty fast. Uh, but my voice is just gonna deepen. I'm gonna develop body hair, stuff like that. Not any super drastic changes though.
Right.
Uh, I also do bind. I currently am hoping to get top surgery in the future. It's just
Okay.
super long waiting lists.
Right.
Um,
Um, t- top surgery, for those of you that don't know, my huswife, which is my name for my huswife, we were lesbians for years and years and years. And at the age of 50, my huswife, which is my name for my non binary trans partner, we're married, came out to me as a trans non binary man. I would love Morgan to define non binary to people because they always say to me, what do you mean? Is it both or neither, male or female? So,
so
how would you describe non binary in your own terms?
being trans is just a whole umbrella in itself. So under trans, you have two binary genders, which is female and male. Um, male to female, female to male.
Right.
Uh, and then under trans, you also have non-binary, which is not a third gender. It's uh, basically like void of gender at all, and it can consist of like a lot of different genders, like subgenders, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously,
So,
I'm not really part of the non-binary community anymore, so I can't really explain their
uh,
experiences. But I know there are like a lot of gender fluid people, which is fluctuating between female and male. People who are just non-binary or agender and just don't feel like a gender at all. It just really depends on the person.
yeah, that's good that you said that because I have a non-binary friend in the audience who will explain non-binary. That's one of the great things, and I'm not being too woke, is that you do educate me by laughing at me, which is, you know, I tend to if I hear someone misgender you, I always correct them.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you like that I do that, or is that something that you'd rather do?
no, it's a good thing. I like when people do that. It's just there's always a thin line between what is too woke and too like I define it as like when there's an ally who's on the edge of being transphobic, basically. Like one of my coworkers when I used to work at my old job before I moved here, I live in Indiana, and
Indiana. Oh my God, you're right. Indiana. Go ahead.
the part I lived in was more democratic than others, but it was at my job. It was definitely not a safe place. She was overly woke, so she decided to tell someone who started working there that I was trans without asking me or without my permission. And that's not something that like you should do. You have to like talk to your trans friends or family members and ask them if they're okay with this. Like I'm fine with people using my pronouns in front of other people because it seems pretty normal. You're just using my pronouns. But if you're going out and actively telling someone my gender identity, that could put me in risk of being hate crimed or anything like that. So
Mm.
that's
Sp-
you know,
yeah. Speaking of that, that first of all, thank you for that because I want people to hear the intricacies of this. And I know I'm being woke now, but I ask Morgan all the time, "Hey, I'm talking to so and so. Do you how do you want me to use pronouns? Have you spoken to that person?" And you laugh at me for being woke, but you say that's okay. You always tell me, "Yeah, that's okay. That's fine for that."
yeah.
So, here's what I'd like you to define for us because just take this as 101. We're a bunch of older people, some of us in the audience, and we don't know cisgender. Define cisgender.
Cisgender is just identifying as the gender you were assigned at birth.
You were
So
assigned at birth.
yeah. And then trans is identifying with the a different gender than you were assigned at birth. Sort of
Okay.
the opposite, just a different one than assigned.
Um, so like I hear people say sometimes, well, before he was a man, and that's like not cool with you, right? Because you always felt like a man, right? Or am I wrong?
I mean, it really just kind of depends on the person. I've heard people say like, whatever, it's fine, you can say that. But for me personally, it's just like I don't know, a really odd thing to say. You say like when I was younger or something. Like, why do you gotta be weird? I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. And there, I want people to know that this is the kind of thing. Like with my huswife, um, they like me to alternate pronouns. They are not attached to labels because I think it's a generational thing, but it may not be. Do you have an opinion on that? Because you happen to know my huswife, and I say he, I say she, I say they, and they really don't care. You have once told me about labels. So why are pronouns important if you don't like labels? Tell us that.
Well, pronouns like they're gonna be used literally everywhere. Like, there's always gonna be cishet people who use them. So like, can't really get around them. That's why they're so important because you don't know. It just gender norms suck, but they're not gonna go away. So
Good, good way of putting it. Gender norms suck, but they're not going to go away. So you got to do the best you can with them, right? You got applause for that. You got applause for that. Okay, so here are some of the issues that happened for me with my huswife. You might not have encountered them. My huswife, Kim, says that he is 80% male. He's narrowed it down 80% male and 20% female, but identifies as non binary because he doesn't want to give up the 20%. Really feels that that's part of his makeup. So if you had to do the percentage thing, where are you on the scale?
um, I I don't know. That's a hard question for me because I guess I'm like 90% male and the other half is just like
Right.
void. I don't feel
And,
like female at all, and I don't really want to be grouped in with that. I guess if that makes sense.
okay. There was a terrible traumatic thing that happened at your school, but you said you'd talk about it. I'd like you to talk about it because it's something people don't think about. There was a report of an active shooter,
Oh,
at Morgan's school, and Morgan was asked to do something in the classroom. Can you describe what happened that day?
Um, about the shooter, or
About the lines. The lines.
oh, I wasn't really asked. I didn't have an opinion on it. Um,
But what did they say to you to do? What was the instruction?
they put us in like two lines, like female and male, basically. Um,
They were going to frisk everybody, and they said, make two lines, male and female. And you did what?
I got pat down by both a male and a female. They didn't really ask who I wanted to be pat down by. It did make me pretty uncomfortable. Um, but like, whatever. Life goes on. I don't know.
But you made a choice then to go into the female line, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Because you were just weighing the situation. It was a dire situation. I'm going to go into the female line. And then they still made both people pat you down.
Yeah, I didn't disclose my gender identity or anything. They didn't know about it. I assume they just looked at me and kind of made that choice themselves, but I didn't really have a say in it.
Yeah. That was when you told me that story, I was like, not good.
And like
Bad.
I thought maybe this is normal. Maybe they were doing it to everyone else, but they didn't. So it was not a fun
They
situation.
only did it to you. And I was furious when you told me that story. Okay. But see that maybe that's I'm too woke. This is your fight. But I just wanted to say I didn't like that. So okay, so now you've told us that if you identify to someone as he and the person keeps calling you she, it's just the intention. You've said to me, like with my mom, she's trying to get used to it and accepts me. By the way, you have incredible parents. They accepted you the whole way, didn't they, Morgan?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people don't have that. I just want to acknowledge. I know you had hard times, but these are people that really, really supported Morgan this whole time. I want to talk about laws that are trying to be passed. You have a lot of activism that you've educated me about. What would you say is your biggest fight now? And it can be intersectionality as far as Black Lives Matter. I know you've spoken to me about that too. But where is your fight going now as far as activism goes?
Um, I don't know. I don't know, man. I kind of just I kind of just fuck it and see what happens. Whatever's like upsetting me.
Right. You're about to go to college, and I want to acknowledge that your career is being a veterinarian. Can everybody clap for that, please? And yes. And your mother, I don't know. Thank you. Your mother, yes, you're getting the claps. You're getting the claps. And you're getting the party hats. Your mother actually sent me your college essay. And it was amazing how you tied in your gender identity with your love for animals. I thought that was incredible. Um, uh, would you be okay if I read just a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was just this incredible you're getting your dog and you start to talk about when lockdown ended in the pandemic and your junior year started. I began to lose motivation and minor obstacles seemed so much larger than before the pandemic. I was at a tug of war within myself trying to discover my gender identity, and this made everything in life seem so much harder, especially my classes at school. And this is before you came out as binary, as he.
Yeah.
After some time on my path to self-discovery, I was finally able to come out as non-binary. I hope that opening up to my family and friends would enable me to start feeling a sense of peace and happiness with myself. However, just the opposite happened. I experienced the loss of a relationship and alienation. First of all, this is in a college essay, and you got accepted immediately into like 3 colleges immediately. Is that true?
Yeah, basically.
And it goes Yes. Then you go from the sense of loss, I'm not going to read exactly, and your desire to expand my knowledge about animal science had grown over the years. I clung to what always brought me comfort, which was animals. So, like, for me, like, you expressed your passion for animals related to your gender identity and your struggle and how you want to be a doctor of for I mean, to me, when I read this essay, I actually had tears. Okay. And so I want to talk about the fact that this this brings me to the fact that you have exotic animals. Just hold on a second. Tell everybody what you've had, what animals you've had besides the frogs. Go ahead.
Besides the frogs, I only have a skink.
A
Um,
what?
a skink. It's
What is a skink? Oh my God, someone's clapping. They know what a skink is. What is it?
kind of like a snake with legs, but like
A snake with legs?
yeah, it's like a snake, but if it like kind of knew how to use legs, they kind of still like slither, and like they have like pointy noses and everything like that.
So what is drawing you to like a skink, skink or whatever it is?
What do you mean? Like,
What would you say? Oh, you just woke up one day and said, "I want a skink."
oh no, I just like all kinds of like exotic animals. They're just fun, so I decided I wanted.
Okay,
Originally gonna get a 5 line skink, and then I have a red sided skink. Very cute guy.
unbelievable. I love it. So here's my last question for you before we're going to open it up to questions and answers. So if anybody is deciding that they do want to come to the stage, it would be great. You can just ask. And if you don't know how to do that, you hit that little, I think the hamburger on the bottom, or you hit the little plus sign on the stage and ask to come up so we can do question and answer. And thank you, Morgan, for doing this because people have questions. Okay, my last thing that I want to say before question and answer. So, Morgan, you really are ethnically made up of Jewish, Black, and trans, right? Because your mom is ethnically Jewish. You weren't brought up in the religion, or were you?
No, I wasn't. I was brought up
Uh,
pretty agnostically.
so, what is your spirituality? What do you feel is your? Do you have a spiritual identity?
Um, I don't know. Currently, I'm kind of just like with the whole move and everything that's happening right now. I've kind of fell out with my spirituality, so we're just trying to figure it out.
Okay, that's okay. So, all right. So here, those three, that intersectionality of Jewish, Black, and trans, those are really people attack those all the time, and I want to just acknowledge your bravery. I know you might think I'm woke and crazy, but that you came out and you're going to school with a whole new sense of who you are. And one of the things that people are confused about before we get to question and answer, this might spark some things. Now that you're in or closer to the correct body that you're in, that you want to be in, how do you feel about, say, dating men?
Um, I'm fine with it. Like I am open to dating anyone. I am not straight, so you know.
Right. So, what people need to understand is that Morgan wasn't really dating men when Morgan identified as she. Now, Morgan identifies as queer, right?
I'll stop you real quick. Okay, you keep saying identified as
Good. Correct me. Correct me.
that's pronouns don't define your gender. Like it's just a really weird way to put that. So I just wanted to, I don't know, let you know.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. This is why I love Morgan because Morgan will correct you in a very, very allied way and make you know. Now I'm going to reveal something before Q&A. You ready? Morgan is my nephew. So everybody who didn't know, Morgan, right. And why Morgan agreed, thank you so much. And I'm going to reveal that Elizabeth down there is Morgan's sister. And my mother, Martha, is Morgan's grandmother. So we have a whole family here supporting you, right? And I know that my sister, and this is the time that I wanted to reveal that afterwards, because I said to Morgan before the talk, is it okay if halfway through the talk I identify that you're my nephew? Because I love Morgan, and I've known Morgan since Morgan was born, and watched this incredible being blossom in this way. And so I'm proud to call Morgan my nephew. It's a change for me, and I am just so proud of it. So when I asked you what you wanted to be called, niece, and there's a term called nibbling, which they told me about. He told me about, and he said, "No, nephew's good." So this is my first time calling my nephew, and I love you very, very much. I love you. Okay. So I'm going to ask some people if they'd like to come up on stage and either make comments or talk to Morgan. And you can tell me if you want to come, if you want to actually come on camera or not. Okay, so our first person that we have up here is Tasha. Would you like to come on camera?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Great. So Tasha identifies as non-binary, they, them. Tasha, go ahead as soon as you accept my invitation to video.
Hey.
Are you here?
I'm here. Can you
there
see
you
me?
Are. So Tasha, go ahead.
First time joining Fireside, so it's good to be here. Thank you so much, Morgan. It's just fantastic to listen to your story, and I think it's awesome. You know, I'm a non-binary person as well, but you know, I grew up in an era in which I always knew that I didn't fit the female mold, but I wasn't quite sure if I fit the male mold. I sometimes thought I might be a gay man. But there was nothing called non-binary. You know, I'm 42 going on 43. And I also didn't really like the term bisexual. And the kids have come up with some great terms these days. So, you know, I've been identifying as non-binary for about 6 years, and pansexual also for about that amount of time. But the question I really wanted to ask you as you begin, you know, you go off to college and start this next phase of your journey is, you know, I had the good luck to grow up in a place like Seattle, and you've been in Indiana. And I wanted to know what advice you might give to an 11 or 12-year-old who's just coming to terms with their own gender identity that might not be in a place that would be very accepting.
Good question.
With the experiences
we should mute while Morgan is talking. So it's.
With the experience that I have, like growing up in a place like this, you just kind of gotta ignore all of the transphobic and homophobic things people will say. Because if you listen to them, it's just really gonna suck, and it's not gonna be able to change who you are or who you like or anything like that. And there's always gonna be the opportunity when you get older to be in such a better place and be able to be out and about with, I don't know, who you are or who you like. I don't know, it's hard to talk about it, but you will always find like a group of friends who kind of know who you are and who you can be yourself around. So just stick around and keep hoping for the best, basically.
That's good advice. Go ahead, Tasha. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you. It's great
All
to
right. So I'm going to, as each person talks, what I'll do is I'll very nicely tuck you back down off the stage, and we'll go to the next person. I'll keep you on stage, Tasha, if you want to, on mic and say something. Deanna, would you like to come to video? You're muted.
No, I'm driving. So.
Oh, you're driving. Okay.
Can you hear? Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm going to mute
so, So I have maybe a twofold question / statement. The first thing I want to say is I think with the way things are coming out, or what you would call woke, and I am learning, so I'm just going to put that right on out there. 53 and straight, so I am learning. But I'm open to learning. And I think that this generation has such a handle on understanding who they are, and really fighting for who they are. And I think for a lot of people that are not in your, maybe don't feel where you are, maybe they're not in some LGBTQIA situation, maybe I should just say straight, they may not really fight for their identity like this. And it needs to be happening really across the board. So I admire that. I love that. And my second thing is, I missed the very beginning of the show, so I may have missed this. Is Morgan your given name? I have a, I don't even know. She's a they now. I probably said that wrong. And they changed their name from Amelia to Milo. This is my niece. I don't even know if I haven't asked her what she would prefer to be called now at this point, but they changed their name. So I'm wondering, is that common? Is Morgan your birth name? I was just curious.
That's a great question. I'm going to mute your mic because you're driving. Morgan, go ahead.
Yeah, Morgan is my birth name. Um, my name is unisex, so I didn't feel the need to change it at all. Um, and it is pretty common to change your name, especially if you have a feminine one. Um, it's kind of hard to get over dead names if it's new, but you just gotta keep trying. And then I don't know, ask Milo what they like, see what happens.
Um, I have a question, piggybacking on that. You told me, Morgan, that most of your friends call you Mo now, right? And do you like Mo just because it's like a shorter version of Morgan?
It's just a nickname, because a lot of my friends used to call me Morg, but I started to feel like that was something that was really feminine. Um, so I just kind of started going by Mo as like a nickname instead. But either way, I don't
Do,
really mind.
yeah, let me just go into an area that you said I could go into, okay? Because I really want people to understand how intense it is when you can't come out or you're trying to figure it out and mental health issues can come up. Morgan, could you talk about how you were self-harming?
Like what about it?
I mean, uh it was your desire to do what? Can you explain why?
Um, it wasn't really mostly because of my gender identity. I was just going through like a lot of depression, stuff like that, anxiety. But
So you don't think it's related to that,
I mean, some parts of it were, but it wasn't really like that was the main cause. No.
right? Okay. I just because I asked you ahead of time if you wanted to talk about that. How do you feel going forward about when you said it was a long road to changing your body to the way you want it to be? Um, how do you feel, right now going to college and everything is going to be fresh and new and you're going to meet new people and nobody knew your identity or anything before and you're going to walk in. Um, I mean, it must feel exhilarating.
Um, I mean, yeah, mostly. I kind of scared to see what happens.
Okay.
But
Is your roommate identify? What does your roommate identify as?
my roommate is non-binary.
Okay. Great. Do you ever see you as you said your name is unisex? Do you see yourself changing your name one day or keeping it because of it? I mean, my housewife Kim loves Kim because Kim is same thing, either or.
I think I'm just gonna keep my name because I don't really I don't really mind it. It's unisex. I'm fine with it. I don't know.
Okay, that's great. I'm going to just ask maybe your sister. Oh, I guess your sister to come up. Lizzie, do you feel I gave you an invitation to come up? There you go. Do you want to go to camera or just talk?
Hello.
Hi, you're there. Do you want to
Hi.
come to? Do you want to come to video? I just invited you to video. I'd love you to come on for a sec and say hello.
I'm in a sports bra, but yes.
Oh, that's okay. All right. I just invited you to video. All you have to do is accept it. So, everybody, this is Lizzie, and Lizzie is Morgan's half sister. Go ahead, Lizzie. Go for it.
Am I on?
You are on, babe. Everyone's clapping. Go ahead.
Hi. I don't really have too many questions, to be honest. Like, this really isn't a big deal to me. Like, I know who that person is right there, in that little box. Doesn't take anything away. Like, I feel no different. So,
Yeah. And is this the first time you're actually talking with Morgan about this stuff? Or
yeah.
Yeah, no, I never really thought of coming out to like anyone because it was never really like a priority, I guess, if that makes sense.
I understand.
yeah.
It's a scary thing, and it's scary, and I'm here for you. I support you, whoever you are, whatever you are. I just don't think gender matters to me personally. You know what I mean? Like, I just love who you are as a person. That's Morgan, that's Mo. If you have a binder on or not, like that, means nothing. So
Woo! This is like, I got to give. I know. I know. It's just, this is my family, everybody. I didn't want to identify that it was my family, but this is my incredible family. And talking about that, I'd love to invite my mother to video, which is Morgan's grandmother. Mom, do you feel like coming into video? I've just sent you a video invitation, and you'll see our incredible family all lined up in a row. Mom, did you accept it or no? Hello? I don't. Martha, are you
I
there?
accepted it.
You accepted it?
I accepted it.
Oh, I'm looking and I'm not seeing that you accepted the video. How strange.
I did.
Well, what you can do is go to the little two white lines on the bottom and push turn on video. You see the little white lines on the
Yeah.
bottom? Oh, great. Morgan. What happened to Morgan's video? Okay. Can anybody see Martha?
No.
It says leave stage, broadcast to
Uh-oh.
world, share followers, alert, show settings, report incident, leave the show.
leave.
What do you want me to do? All I want to say is I am looking at my beautiful, now I don't know if I'm using the right word, but to me, she is my beautiful grandchild. And I'm here for her always. And I love her since the day she was born. And I love him from the day she was born. I'm not woke. Is that the word? Does anybody hear me?
Deborah, you're on mute.
Who's talking?
Deborah, you're on mute.
Who is that talking?
We hear you, Mom.
Oh,
We hear you.
and no matter when I look at her, I don't know the right words to use. I see my
Lizzie, we're seeing your rear end. Lizzie, I'm turning off your camera. Oh my God, she's showing the rear end. Okay, I'm just going to turn the camera off. All right, so Mom, you were saying what? Keep going. And you never accepted our video. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know what to do with that. It says video made stopped. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so you said that you accept your grandchild. Morgan's laughing very
I
hard.
think she is. She has such a sense of humor, Morgan, and that is a delight. And she's hiding, I think.
He. Okay. Because he's
I
confronted.
have a crazy family. I have a crazy family.
Okay, we hear you, Mom. All right,
Yes.
so Morgan just was on stage with his grandmother for the first time. Mom, I wish you had been on camera, but you're not, and that's okay. So I want to just I want to get. So Martha, thank you
Yes.
for coming up. Morgan is in a fit of laughter now. Morgan, could you tell us why you're laughing?
I just hear like Liz laughing in the background.
I love it.
Shut the fuck up!
I think you ought to take Elizabeth's voice off the camera.
Oh my god!
Oh my God, Elizabeth's voice is on camera. Let me mute her. Okay, so there we are. We're muted. We're moving people from the stage because this is family and we're all family dealing with this. Okay, now we've gotten our whole family to ask questions. Morgan, can I just wrap this up with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at Morgan's dimples. Okay, so all right. I have just a couple of more questions, and then I want to really thank you for today because you really, really helped us understand things. And thank you, everybody else, for all your questions. I want to talk about relationships like you also have a brother, right?
Yeah.
And have you had a conversation with your brother?
No.
So this show is totally like, we're just like family coming out or something, right?
Yeah, basically.
Basically, this is like okay, we're going to lighten it up a little, okay? I want you to tell me, because you are so good with your favorite bands, and listen to the music that Morgan tells you. He has such an eclectic taste, and I go to every single band he recommends. He was the first one before anybody knew who she was to tell me to listen to Sia. He goes, have you listened to the Sia? This was years ago. And I listened to Chandelier and I was weeping. Okay. Morgan, give us your favorite bands now and why.
My favorite bands are probably Half Alive. I've listened to every single album. I started listening to them as soon as they became like a band, basically. They kind of make like contemporary pop, indie. I don't know how to explain their music, but it's really good. They're so creative, so beautiful. I don't know. Then I love Conan Gray. He makes pretty sad music, but I love him. It's great. Mitski.
Isn't that what they used to call emo in the day?
It's not emo. It's more just like indie music. Mitski. A lot of people don't know who Mitski is, surprisingly, but her music is so beautiful. She's probably one of my favorite artists of all time. I recommend listening to her. She just came out with an album after a 2-year hiatus. Back in February, she came out with Laurel Hell. Really good. If you ever need something new to listen to, definitely listen to Mitski. And then lastly, my other favorite band is probably Beach Bunny, which is just like kind of like a pop punk band. You saw them.
Okay. Half Alive is the one I started listening to since you told me, and I subscribed to their YouTube channel because it freaked me out how good they were and how eclectic. Now I'm going to go back over this and I'm going to look for the other ones you told me. You've never steered me wrong. Now, I know you did a couple of solos with your high school. do you think you have a side little career of singing, or do you just enjoy singing? You never want to make it like a thing.
I don't know. It's just like a small thing. Like I think when I'm in high school, I there are a bunch of like a cappella groups that I think I might try out for. So we'll see what
In high
happens.
school?
Or
You mean in college?
Yeah,
Oh my
college.
God, you said high school.
I graduated or last week, so it still feels like I'm
I
there.
love it. Okay, this is so exciting. When do you go back? When do you go to college? Exactly.
About August, sometime in August. No,
Okay, great. All right, and my last question is theater, because this is also where we intersect. Here's here's Grandma. There's Grandma and her grandson. Okay. I know, she's frozen. She's frozen. It's crazy. She's completely frozen. We always have fun on this show. Now look, we really do have Barsha, 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 because you're like a half Barsha, Morgan. Okay. All right. Morgan, lastly but not leastly, favorite Broadway shows?
Favorite Broadway show is Falsettos. I miss Falsettos so much. They need to go back on tour. It's about like this gay couple in 1970s. Yeah, 1970s, 1980s, during the AIDS epidemic. And then other favorite Broadway shows, I'm trying to think. I do like Dear Evan Hansen a lot. I haven't seen the movie though. I heard it's not good.
I haven't seen the movie either.
Yeah, I heard it's not the best, but I'm hoping it's good. I'm trying to think of what else I like.
Hello, I took you to the prom.
Oh yeah, I like The Prom a lot. It's about lesbians.
You loved, the prom, and then didn't I take you to something else? Oh yeah, Be More Chill.
Be More Chill. Yeah, I went to that. It's a good musical. It's not on Broadway anymore though. Pretty good. It's kind of just like a high schooler type musical, basically.
All right. Well, this is Mom. Do you have any last thing to say to Morgan before I wrap? I guess not. Mom. Oh, okay. Go.
I want to thank you both for enlightening me. And that word woke, is that the word you used?
Yes.
What does that exactly mean?
It means to be very up to date with the times, if that makes sense.
Yes, and that's not what I am. I have to get more enlightened in being more up to date at the times. And I love you so much, and I will continue to love you. And you sound so intelligent. I'm so proud of you. And I love my family. And thank you, everyone, for listening and enlightening me to where I should be at this moment in time.
Mom! Okay, everybody, thank you. Morgan, any final words that you'd like to say to us before I bring up the weight bot? Go ahead.
I don't know, just stay vibing.
Stay vibing, everybody. Stay vibing. This was the great Morgan Wordlaw, my incredible nephew. And I thank you so much for today and really being with us and explaining things to us and just, like you said, vibing with us. All right, Morgan, I look forward to so much more, with talking with you. And you are the best. I love my nephew. Bye, everybody. See you next week for Barsha, 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 where we'll have a Broadway stage manager who wrote a new book called